All right, good morning, everybody. We're at the Desert Division January meet. We're going to take a quick walk around to the different sales tables we have this morning. And then we'll get started with the meeting. Janet Mattern set up over here. She's got trains on one table. There's past National President Gordon Wilson, and hiding behind him is past National Secretary Christy Wilson. There's some more of the goodies on Janet's other table. Janet's taking a box out, so she must have had a good sale there with Gordon and Christy. She had some pictures on the table earlier, so I have a feeling, knowing Gordon's taste for pictures, he may have bought the pictures. And Terry Haas has stepped away from his table. Well, there's Terry Haas. Some of his items that he has for sale here this morning. Nice wide selection. Front table, this is some of the items that are going to be talked about later on during the educational segment. Got a nice selection of items. Try to get the lighting a little bit better. There's Treasurer Mark Thompson doing raffle ticket sales. And here's our parts guy. Showed up for the winter. DeLon's here. He's got several customers buying parts.
You gotta have all this computerized there. The time.
He's doing a pretty good business here this morning. A lot of people have been needing parts. And outside of the November show, this is the first time they've been able to hook up with DeLon.
Oh, the front truck? Yeah, that's a common one.
And we're set up for social distancing here at the hall, as we always do. There's our current National Secretary, Katie Elger, in the back, talking with Ralph. And we'll turn the camera around and get it pointed at the table and get the meeting started.
What does Adrian have to do to get on to do this?
Just get on Facebook Live on the Division's Facebook page.
TCA, is it? Of course, I know I'm in here on it.
Sorry for all the jumbling around as we get things set here.
Isn't it okay that I can bring the trailer for February?
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes.
Okay. I'll just pay you double.
No,
Make
just
it
one spot.
Okay. Look, clear to the west side. So I could park over there, be easy.
Yeah, well, get me after the meeting.
Okay.
All right. Know where that stands. All right, good morning, everybody. It's 10 o'clock. Please grab your seats and we'll get things going here. Then I gotta turn that volume down. Yeah, you know it's bad when you can hear an echo. Good morning. Glad to see everybody out here this morning. I appreciate Appreciate you social distancing here in the hall. So we kind of forced it the way we have the chairs set up. Mark set up the hall before we got here this morning. We let these last couple of raffle ticket sales get going here. All right. The January meeting, we start out with our annual business meeting for the year. We conduct that first, and then we go into the general meeting. A lot of the information in the annual meeting would typically get repeated during our general meeting. We'll save a little bit of time because we can roll through that stuff. And we have quite a few things up here on the educational table today, so should be a fun thing. We do ask after the meeting if you want to revisit any of the table sales, please do so. We do have to be out of the hall by 11:30. So the meeting should end at 11. If you do want to do some more sales or visit the tables again, feel free to do so. Oh, Mr. Secretary, I thought you were going to do this thing from long distance today. So let's get the meeting started. I'll skip the Secretary's report, and we'll pick him up later. But this is, we're going to call to order the annual business meeting for Desert Division for 2021. And Mark, you want to give the Treasurer's report?
As of end of the year, checking is $12,781.86. Savings is $190.11. 11 cents must have been a dividend. And we had in the CD $20,045.47. Of that, we have $45.24 in interest, which we didn't get last year, 19, and we have a PayPal balance of $1,636.58. That says New Year's Eve, end of the year. There's been another sale on PayPal, but we're just listed to the end of the year.
All right. Any questions on the finances? Okay. Angelo, want to give the Secretary's report?
We are at membership at 185, and everybody's expiration on their dues has been extended 1 year.
All right. For those of you that are getting the newsletter on paper, the labels will be updated. The labels were printed actually last year, so they still reflected last year's membership status. For the February newsletter, there will be 1 year added on your membership label when you see it. For those of you who took advantage and paid several years in advance, because you could pay up to 5 years in advance, your dues will automatically be increased, or not your dues, but your membership will be, yeah, your dues will increase, but your membership will get added 1 year as well. So if you did pay for several years in advance, we will move that date forward 1 year. There'll be no dues collected for 2021 because 2020 was a bust, so we're just gonna forget that 2020 happened. So that's where we stand at. Committee chairs for the upcoming year. Our webmaster continues to be Angelo. What is this, your 20th year, I think, of being webmaster or something like that? Seems like it's been forever. I'm staying on as the editor of the newsletter. One of these days I won't be standing up here in front of you as your president. There'll be somebody else, but I'll still be the editor of the newsletter. And Paul Malick has agreed to stay on as the auction chair for the upcoming year. So those are the appointments for 2021. The meeting location for the next 4 months. This month, February, March, and April will be here at the Elks Lodge. We're trying to keep track of where or when we think the churches will reopen again and allow us to use their meeting spaces. Until then, we will be meeting here at the Elks Lodge. Next month, instead of an inside meeting, we will have a park and swap. This was the December park and swap that was postponed last month. So the meeting next month on February 13th will be outside. It will be the park and swap. We will be back inside in March, but back in this meeting room in March. And then April, we will be considering, we haven't made a firm decision on it yet, but we're considering doing another park and swap in April. So we'll be inside, outside, inside, outside for the next 4 months. We are hoping in May to be in our new location down on 32nd Street at the church. So that's the tentative plan right now, but again, the Methodist Church has things a little bit tied up right now. We can't get in there. They will not rent to the public. They are under contract with us, but they just don't rent to the public. We didn't have anything in place, so they're not honoring it until the current situation changes a little bit. Yes, Gordon?
Do we have a plan in the unlikely situation that there is rain? I know that doesn't happen very often here, but I'm just thinking if it is going to rain with, I don't want to say with our luck, but
We
you can almost bet that if it's going to rain, it'll rain on the second Saturday of the month.
I would propose we adopt the York plan for if it rains, having purchased many items that they had to pour the water out of.
Oh.
So,
we do not have a rain plan. If it does rain, the covered parking, if you looked at it out front, is not covered parking. There's solar panels. And it's not a solid cover over your head. And there are some spots that have no covering at all. So if it rains, we will investigate. And again, we'll keep track of the weather going into that event. But no, if it rains, we can't do an outdoor meet. So we'll just have to contact the buyers and look at the possibility of moving it possibly to the 3rd. Right now, and I'll get into that in the general meeting, but GCMR is still planning on their meet at the end of February, and I really don't want to get too close and step on their meet. So we'll have to wait and see if GCMR does hold their meet. Possibly, if they're not going to hold their meet, we could have our park and swap meet on the date that they would normally have their February meet. All right, so, there's a lot of things. Right now, everyone's plans are very fluid. So we have to just kind of roll with things. And I can remember going to the February GCMR meet a lot of times and it was raining. So yes, if we get rain in Arizona, it typically rains in February. We all know that. We've lived here long enough. So we'll just have to, work with it and see what happens. So the next item for the annual business meeting is the Member and Volunteer of the Year. It's kind of hard to have a Member of the Year and a Volunteer of the Year when we hardly had any meetings last year. So we will postpone the Member and the Volunteer of the Year award for 2020, like so many other things got postponed. It just doesn't make any sense to try to come up with a Member and a Volunteer for last year. We just didn't have that many events last year. And any other questions before I close the no meeting? Then we'll roll into the general meeting. Yes?
Do you have the reserve tables
I can cover that when we get into the general meeting. That'd be okay? Get the annual meeting closed up.
Could you repeat the question?
No, he wants to know if we have to reserve tables for the park and swap. And I'll cover that during the annual business meeting we're required to do for IRS and our nonprofit status. So I just want to try to cover the bases that we need for the annual meeting, and then we'll get into our regular meeting. Is there any other questions about the status of the membership or the finances or where we're headed for the year? All right, hearing none, we're going to adjourn the annual business meeting, Mr. Secretary. And now we're going to open the general meeting so we can cover the other stuff that we have to do. You already heard the Secretary and the Treasurer's report. Nothing has changed in the last 10 minutes. We still have 185 members, and we still got, well, not oodles of money, but we got a nice bump. Under general announcements, for those of you who may not have heard over the last couple, 2-3 months, we did lose our good friend Brad Martin. Brad, many of you remember, stood shoulder to shoulder next to Angelo at our grill for annual picnics and everything. He's going to be sorely missed, but we did lose Brad. And then last weekend we lost Marlon Benson. Marlon, if you go up to the Beat the Heat meet, had one of the best layouts up in Prescott Valley, would always open up his home to us as part of the Prescott Valley group up there. We always love to see Marlon's layout, but we did lose Marlon over the last weekend. Okay, we're going to recover, and the first thing up on the events for 2021 is the Super Bowl auction. That is still on. That is January 30th. That's at Paradise Valley United Methodist Church, where we held the November auction. We have auction catalogs for sale up here, $5 a piece. The admission is $5. You get the catalog. So you buy the catalog, you don't have to pay the $5. It will not be a Super Bowl. We're calling it a Super Bowl. To keep up with the tradition, there will be no soups available. The church needs to have us control the way we do the food service. So we will again do the Subway sandwiches, or not the Subway, but the Little John's individual boxed sandwiches that we had in November. That worked out real good. You were able to custom, people that needed the custom order their sandwiches, we were able to get them custom put in that way. So it will be the touchless, touch-free, whatever. We are asking for a $5 donation for the box lunch. I think they cost us $6.50 when we buy them in that quantity. So you're getting a little bit of a bargain, but we do appreciate you coming out. We will have water, coffee, and individually bagged donuts. Janet's going to work on doing the donuts the exact same way so we can have the donuts individually bagged again. And that satisfies the church's requirements. So please plan on coming out. It's a great auction. We have a lot of Bill Mack's. Last of his post-war items are going up, are in that auction. We have a nice selection. If you haven't seen the catalog, it is online on our website. So make sure you take a look at it or buy a catalog, and there's some really, really good stuff in that. Transportation days. Typically, we participate in 2 or 3 transportation days with the different preschools. Obviously, with the school situation right now, there's no transportation days. They've all been postponed. Essentially, they can't, or basically, they can't get any of the essential workers to show up. All the essential workers cannot get the time off to do a good transportation day. Everybody's services are stretched right now. So they're all postponed. If you hear of a school or a group that needs to have a train layout for educational or just to have us show up, please contact any of the board members or myself, and we'll take it under consideration. We can do everything from taking a couple of these tables, putting them together and having a train layout on a couple tables for the morning for the kids. We have coloring pages, we have crayons, we have all the stuff we can hand out for the kids. So if you know of an opportunity where we can get the hobby out to the kids, please do so. Please contact us and we'll try to arrange, make that happen. Terry Gibbs is running shows on a Sunday afternoon. Contact Terry through his website, Arizona Model Train Shows. He is doing a show on Sunday afternoons. I don't have the details, but if you get on his mailing list, Terry's TCA member and has helped us out in the past. So we're reciprocating and letting you know that he does have a show going on Sunday afternoons that you can check into. The February meet. It is a park and swap. You do have to have a spot. You have to reserve a spot. We only have to maintain the social distancing in the parking lot. We only have 50 spots available. Most of them are covered or under the covered, the solar panels out there in the parking lot. They're not perfectly covered. Some of the angles as you leave, if you look at the solar panels out there, you can see that some of those spots, probably won't get any shade for the day. If you had a spot in November, you're going to be back in the same spot in February. But you do need to reserve a spot. We have you pull into one parking spot and set up your tables in the next parking spot. That way there is a physical barrier between you and the next seller. So if you'd like a spot, contact us. We'll get you all set up for that parking spot. February 20th is the GCMR show. We have not heard from GCMR yet. Bill, have you heard anything? No. Okay. As far as we know, it's a go until we hear otherwise. So contact GCMR through their website for that show, and if it's going to be held, where it's going to be held, and everything like that. But their information, that's February 20th. John?
The GCMR meeting is later this month, so at that point we'll know something, a decision should be made. Whatever.
Okay. Are you guys considering doing an outdoor?
Yes.
It was tossed around, but
Yeah, it's tough because of February.
nobody had a meeting in December or anything, so it's
Yeah, we're in the same situation. So it's basically, follow the GCMR website if you're interested in doing their show at the end of February. Everybody knows where it's at. It's North Phoenix Baptist Church down on Central and Bethany Home. The Hudson raffle will start in March. We won't start it to sell the same amount of tickets, and because next month is an off month with us doing the park and swap, we will start the Hudson sales again in March. It will be a continuation of last year's Hudson that didn't get rewarded because everything got suspended before we really got anything started. March 20th is Adobe Mountain. That is still tentatively going on. Like I said, March 13th will be here. So that's the Saturday after our meeting. The Adobe Mountain train show will be happening. The spring picnic is April 17th. We will be having our meet in here on April 10th. That's the week after Easter. The picnic is set for the 17th at the Stillman Ramada. That is a go, but it's on a tentative go because that's 4 months from now. And I can't tell you what's going to happen next week, let alone 4 months from now. So we do have the Ramada Reserve. That was all taken care of. Bill took care of that. But we have no idea if we'll be able to do the picnic or not. But the clubs are still planning on doing it. The clubs have it as a tentative go.
What was it, 17th of April?
17th of April is the spring picnic, Stillman Ramada. The pizza meet is May 8th. We do not know right now where the pizza meat's going to be held. We have a couple backup locations. We do have a little bit of a situation with the foods. What?
There's nothing in there for him. It's a kitchen.
Oh, who's in there?
I don't know. That guy.
Oh, Lord. He's looking at it.
Down the hall, my friend.
All right. We don't know where the pizza meat will be right now because of the Mark's working with the lodge to see if they'll give us a one-time exemption if we could do the pizzas in here. Obviously, with has a rating for a restaurant. And as a rating for a restaurant, just like at any other restaurant, you can't bring outside food in. And that's the situation with even though it's prepared and done under safety conditions and all that, we can't bring outside food in because the lodge actually has a restaurant certification. So that's where our hang-up is with trying to do the pizza meat in here. We do have a fallback plan. The fallback plan would be back up at Paradise Valley Methodist Church up on Lincoln. They don't have an issue with us bringing in food because they don't have a food license.
I was gonna say, we have brought food into places that are restaurants. We brought what I remember distinctly is a special cake made, we used to have.
Yeah, we could do exemptions, it's just how much we want to push the envelope.
Yeah. So there is a possibility that they would.
Right, there is a possibility. We feel comfortable enough, we can get the Methodist Church. We're hopeful that we'll be in our new meeting location in May. So that's the other thing that's tentative. If the vaccine rolls out, most of us get the vaccine, most of us feel comfortable about coming out again. It's just a hassle right now with the current restrictions of 50 people, which is like right at the upper limit when we do have a pizza meat, that's one of our more popular meats. And then we have the issue with people trying to eat and everything else with the masks and all that. So we're just trying to see where everything's going to be at in May. The fall auction. Oh, Ralph.
Yeah, I'm going to talk to you later on because I think I can get you a place.
That sounds good. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, you're talking for the monthly meeting or?
Well, I've told you before.
Do what?
Well, I've told you before.
If I remember right, we had parking situation there, right?
No.
Okay. Oh, you're talking
Church and Master.
the church on Cactus?
On Cactus.
Unless that neighborhood situation clears up, the board doesn't feel comfortable about having a meeting there.
Why is that?
Okay, there's too many, how do we want to put this politically correct these days? I don't know what's politically correct. When we were there, when we visited the site, there was a lot of people camped out in the park behind the church.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's unless the city of Phoenix has cleaned that situation up, for us right now to feel comfortable in that location, and the parking is a little bit goofy, trying to get people that come in with carts, we'd have to block off some of the parking spots.
In fact, they said they would do that.
Okay. I mean, we can look at it. We had GCMR had one meeting there, I think. We haven't had.
We had one meeting there.
Yeah, it was years ago. We'll look into it, but when we last looked into it, we did not feel comfortable with the nearby residents. Let's just leave it at that. Katie?
Last time I was with the city of Phoenix people, they were working on cleaning that whole area up. I don't know how it's worked with, because we've never done that. But they were working on that whole
Okay.
situation. So there's a
All right.
chance. All right.
All right. See, the fall auction, our November auction, we cannot plan for a date right now. We need to get the fall train show schedule worked in. Once we see where all the fall train shows, obviously we're not going to compete with the fall train show. We have Tucson, the Arizona Railroad National Historical Society, the Glendale group. They moved their show from October to November. So we have that competition, and then our own turkey meet or our own November train show. So right now, the November auction date is, we will have a fall auction. I don't know if it's going to be in the month of November. So that's where we're standing with that. And the last item on for the events for the year is the Christmas party. I've been in contact with a couple members of the Christmas committee. For those of you who may know, may remember, I've been only talking about it for about 5 years now. This is our 50th anniversary. So we normally, as we did at the 25th and as we did at the 40th, we are planning a 50th anniversary party. We are looking at doing it in the fall when we have most of our members here in the area. And the Christmas party committee suggested that we possibly have an early Christmas party, 50th anniversary party combination. And so we're going to, as the board meets, we're going to talk about that as a possibility, the location and everything. But we are planning on a 50th anniversary party. We are planning on a Christmas party or holiday party. And they may be the same day, at the same place, at the same time. So stay tuned for that. Speaking of the 50th anniversary, our 50th anniversary card just went on sale. It is the last of the A1 beer reefers. Oh, Angelo has order forms up here. If you don't want to pay sales tax, pay for it here at the meet. If you order it online, PayPal, not us, PayPal collects the sales tax and turns it over to the state. We cannot get around that. So if you order online, you're going to pay sales tax. If you order it here at the meet, you get the car for sales tax free. You save yourself about, $3, I think it is, by ordering it this way. There are 2 road numbers. It's the same car with 2 road numbers. One of the road numbers happens to be 1971, and the other road number happens to be 2021. I don't know how that happened, but so if you want to get the A1 beer reefer, there's only 200 of them, 100 in each road number. If you don't get the 2-car set, we pick what number we're going to give you. So you may get a 2021 or you may get a 1971. So, but it is and it's prototypical. We heard an awful lot of complaints about the billboard style cars that we were doing, and why don't you guys ever do a prototypical car? So we're doing a prototypical car, and if we don't sell all 200 of them, it'll be the last prototypical car we consider, I think. But the first A1 beer reefer sold 300. So we're hopefully that these will sell out to 200. Like I said, there's 100 in each road number, so consider that. And with that, oh, the last thing I wrote, Katie had a note on here. We are suspending collecting cans for the time being. For whatever reason, the aluminum prices plummeted, and it's not really worth the time and effort for the depressed price. We collect the cans and then we turn the money over to TCA headquarters or TCA National from the division, and right now at 20 cents a pound, it's not really worth all the effort for 20 cents a pound for scrap aluminum. So hold on to your cans until we can start that program back up again. Are there any questions? Oh, one other thing. This thing is sitting in front of me. And it was sitting in front of me to remind me. All right. This is a ambassador thank you boxcar from Lionel. For those of you who may not have heard or did not see on Facebook, I was up in Fountain Hills, and just on a whim, I was doing some other club work over at Gene Mack's house, picking up some of the stuff for the Mack consignment. And just on a whim, I swung by Burling's Ton of Trains to see how they were doing. And they were open, and I had a wonderful tour through the Burling's Ton of Train store. It's the last brick and mortar store that I am aware of still exists here in Arizona. The family has done a wonderful job of cleaning up the store, cleaning up the aisles, organizing things. And it's the last brick and mortar store in the town, or in the state. The guys that are running it is Ken's grandson and son-in-law. No.
Step-grandson.
What is it?
Step-grandson.
Yeah, step-grandson. It's, I'm trying to keep track. I have it written down in my notes at home and I didn't bring them. But they have done a fabulous job. The aisles are all clear. It's just a beautiful, I mean, they've done a really knockdown job. I don't want to say they're more reasonable than Ken was, but they're more reasonable than Ken was. So it is really a nice, they're two young men, really nice to talk to, and they're doing a heck of a job. And they haven't even started on bringing Ken's collection into the store to sell. This is just the stuff that was in the store that they've cleaned up and done a good job on. They're only open Monday through Friday, but if you got some time, you may want to stop by there. And they gave us a donation, so that's the reason this is here. So I was there, and they said, well, thanks for stopping by and everything, and here's a donation for the club. So this is going to be in next month's raffle. You'll see it over here in the pile, or not next month we're in the parking lot, in the March meeting. But they did donate it to the club, so I want to thank them for that. Yes?
Chrissy used to have a repair center there. Is that gone now?
They don't have an authorized. Okay, so Ken had the authorized service station. With Ken's passing, obviously, there's no authorized service station in there. There is a TCA member doing repairs from the shop. Okay. Again, you know, like I said, it's like any other of our other TC, you know, of our members that have repair shops, and we have 4 or 5 guys that advertise in our newsletter every month. Just call them up, compare prices, and you know, see what their reputation is. Some guys specialize in the new stuff, some guys specialize in post-war. So just say, hey, can you fix this, or do you have that part? And see, you know, see if they can help you out. But we've got 4 or 5 members. There is a TCA member in the store that's doing repairs right now. All right. Any other questions before we turn it over to the educational? All right. Well, Paul, you're up. I've got to go man the camera.
Well, can you hear me through my mask without the microphone?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, how about that?
Yeah.
Okay, then I don't have to strain either. I just brought a couple of things that I thought might be of interest. One reflects, boy, it's getting harder and harder for me to figure out where things came from, what do they mean, how did I get them? Just kind of drifts away in my memory. I was going through some of the plastic bill that I was going to dispose of, and found the special Union station that Bachman made for our 1997 convention. And it's in a different color, and the packaging for this unit, which were table prizes at the banquet, is this gold box that somebody found. I think it was actually for a supplier of candy makers who would put candies in these boxes. At any rate, the Union station fits in it, and it has a special insignia on a sign that says TCA 43rd National Convention, Phoenix, Arizona. And so this was the one of the banquet favors But with it, I found this bag of plastic parts that I sent it to Chris, a picture, and he said, "Oh, that's the switch tower, okay? It's in a strange color, but what's interesting about this is that there is no way to assemble it. There are none of the prongs, grooves, slots. It's just plain plastic pieces. So the rarest version of this would be an assembled one. No question about that. And I listed this on eBay. In case you're interested, there's 2 days left and it's at $6. So, but it turns out that with collecting the memories of the people in this room, that this was felt to be one of the gifts in the goodie bag. When you registered for the convention, we had a big sack full of stuff, as I remember, including catalogs and advertisements and things like that. But I guess Bachman put this together for us because there's no packaging. It's in a color that was never done. So it is a rare bunch of plastic, and I thought you might just find that interesting as we enter our 50th anniversary of the Desert Division. It's kind of nice to reflect on what we did for conventions and previous celebrations. Then I wanted to just share, because this is the kind of stuff that really appeals to me. This is a Lionel rivet press. And it also comes with, it's in spectacular condition. It still has this little bag with a little Allen wrench in there so you can tighten in the tools. And a tool set, and these have been reproduced, but this is the original Lionel service station tool set. And these you see occasionally. They're hard, obviously, to find a complete, nice condition one like this. But you do see these. But what you don't see is the documentation that came with the rivet press when I got this years ago. And I'll just read just quickly. In accordance with our policy of providing the maximum assistance to our authorized service stations, we are proud to announce the development of additional specialized tools for servicing Lionel equipment. And then it goes on to enumerate the tools and the rivet and the press. How many have seen this stationery before?
No.
I read your letter.
The stationery at the top with the art, with that graphics, I've seen that a number of times on communications to service stations or whatever, and I think it dates to around 1948. So there's no date on this provenance of the rivets and the tools, but this piece of paper was as fascinating to me as the tools itself, because the service station had to buy the tools. They didn't just, we're Lionel, here's your equipment to repair things. And it was $25 for the rivet press. They also noted in this document track pliers at about $3. So there were, and a wheel puller and I've had all of those things over the years. But the rivet press, one other thing about the rivet press, it comes in 3 different colors. It comes in red, blue, and silver that I know of. So if you're a real compulsive and really strong, because it weighs a lot, a complete collection would consist of at least 3 of these. I had a blue one, and the people on eBay have got the best vision in the world. Someone noted that the plate that's on this side, on the blue one that I sold, there was evidence that there was a plate there before, because the paint was not quite as brilliant, but the plate was on the other side. Just one of those mysteries, hard to explain what happened there, but the blue was original. It wasn't like somebody had repainted it and put the thing on the wrong side or whatever. At any rate, there are at least 3 variations. There might be a yellow one, who knows. You did not, according to this information, get to choose the color you got. I think they just sent you the rivet press, and if you either had a blue one or a red one or a silver one, there you go. And then one final note, a company called Hobby Horse duplicated the press. It's not the same, but it's the same mechanism. It doesn't look anything like the Lionel, but their tools look exactly like the Lionel tools. So you have to be aware there are reproduction or not original tools out there. Any questions about the plastic mill or rivet press?
I mean, you can tell them that the repro is in green.
The hobby horse.
Oh, the hobby horse.
Hobby horse
Yeah,
is in green.
it is. It's green. I have the hobby horse and I use that all the time.
And it's twice that size.
It's a different, it looks different,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's not quite this deco curved, rounded machine. But yeah, the hobby horse, and of course it is identified as being a hobby horse product. And it still commands nice fees when one comes, if you check on eBay, Google Lionel Press or Hobby Horse Press. Still, but the shipping is what it's got. Now it costs you $100 to ship something that's this heavy. It's really bizarre how that's turned out. Okay, well, anybody anything else? Who's next?
John. John, I'm going to ask you to stand a little bit this way because of the light coming in the door, and you're going to look like the shadow.
That may be a good thing. As some of you may know or remember, what I like to collect is variations of a unit. And I have here the number 3512. I don't know the proper name of it, but the ladder fire car, whatever it is, and so forth like that. Those of you that are close enough, you can see that the original version of it has a black ladder. That's the most common one. The hard to find, coincidentally, was the first one that I got, has a silver ladder. There's no difference in price, it just happens to be a little harder to find. Now, when I got these units, I started looking at them, cleaning them up. They were covered in dust and everything. And I come to find out that the most common unit not only has a black ladder, the little fire hoses, fire nozzles that are behind the firemen are silver. There's 3 of them. Usually they're lost. I have to have all 3 of them there. And this is the original fireman sitting there. He is a real dark blue, kind of a navy blue, so forth like that. If any of you are familiar with this particular unit, as it goes down the track through the mechanism of a belt in the wheels and so forth, the fireman swings back and forth on a 180-degree angle, and he swings out. Also on the original one, when you crank up the, see if I can just do it this way. There is a couple little notches up here on the top, 2 little prongs. They have a curved hook on it, which looks like when you lower the ladder should latch into it to hold it in place. Well, that is so very, very, very fragile. And this being so old and heat dries out plastic and so forth like that, and I was afraid to try to latch it in there. And it looks like it latches the ladder down. Now on the other unit, behind the fireman, I don't know if this is a reproduction or whatever it is, but the nozzles are gold. One is silver or chrome, if that's what you want to call it, and gold. Everything else is exactly the same, again with the exception of the rest for the ladder, again, are very small and fragile, and all they are is 2 little prongs that stick up that the ladder rests against, and that way it doesn't swing side to side. And again, those of you who are close enough to see, this fireman is a brighter blue. It's not original, he's a repo. That gentleman over there sells the units. I don't know at what point in time or anything else like that that he was put in there, but this is the way it was when I got it. Incidentally, the black one I got at the TCA auction, in December? I picked that up in the auction in December. This one I've had for about 2 years. So that's the difference in these 2 particular units. I'll just leave them here so if anybody wants to kind of look at them in a closer inspection. Don't break anything. Thank you.
thank you, John.
I forgot. That unit had a 3-year run. It was in production for 3 years, 1959 to 1961.
All right. I've got a couple things here real quick. This was awarded to Desert Division for last year's Win Big Award. And you say, well, this is just a hopper car. Well, yeah, it's just another Chicago Northwestern. Unfortunately, one of our founding members, Bob Johnson's not here anymore, but if Bob would have been all over this thing. He had 1.5 tons of Chicago Northwestern. The important thing about this is this little card that comes with it. This train was actually run on the layout at National Toy Train Museum. So this is the certificate that goes with the car that says it actually ran on the layout at the museum. And since it was given to the donation for our membership drive, the car is going to be in the January, February, March raffle prize, or March or April or whatever. But it was donated or given to the division, and I think it should go out to the division. So it's going to be either as a raffle prize next time we do a raffle, or it will be, we'll figure something for it. I can't see just running it on our club layout. I think it needs to get back into a member's hands. You guys are the ones that helped us recruit our members for the year. The last thing, there were the last couple things I have here. This one got a lot of attention. And I don't know why it got a lot of attention, because this was advertised pretty heavy. This is the first ever, I can't do this in with 3 different hands. Shoot, let's do it this way. This is the first ever Tca Christmas Car. And this was advertised, it was the member exclusive, only to Tca members. It's Mark Train Collectors Association. It was heavily advertised right before Christmas. And I went ahead and gone out and bought one. And if they do another one, I'll go out and buy the next one. But they're advertised for all of us. There's a member exclusive Tca car. And you know how I got to have everything TCA, so it is an exclusive TCA car. And then the other 2, these came in over the last couple of days. And again, I can't hold them up because I opened them, I actually opened up the shipping cartons here this morning. One is the trailer from the 2019 Albuquerque convention. And then that just arrived a couple days ago, or a couple weeks ago rather, was the Seaboard trailer. I kind of like flat cars, you know, TOFCs. They're kind of something I like to purchase. And the one was from the convention in Jacksonville. Unfortunately, we didn't have the convention, but I got the convention car. So the one is from the Jacksonville convention, and the other one is from the Albuquerque convention. And you can take a look, see the quality of the convention cars and how. Oh, Janet, you got to go quick because I'm running out of steam.
They both came like within a week of
With
one
it,
another.
yeah.
One's from the one year and the other's from the next.
Yeah, the way Lionel production was shut down and then started back up again, and the way stuff came in from China. So any more last minute, any questions on anything before we start the raffles? All right, we'll wait for Janet to get her tickets in there.
Yeah, they're right here. Got her name on the back. Did you hear her tell you nobody wanted to do?
Christie, whose name did you put on there? Yours or his? Yeah, he insisted it was his.
All right. I know the people at home want to know who won. Huh? You want to make them move? No. You know I'm going to mix them up anyway, because I'm not going to go to the top. Mine's at the bottom. I was one of the first ones.
Hey, will your hand fit in there?
Yeah.
All right, okay.
I got a girly hand. All right, no name. Dave Brown's not here, so that means everyone's in the last four is 5689. 5689. No name, 5689. You get first shot. Somebody's got to have it.
Somebody's got
I
it.
have my name on my ticket.
5689.
5689.
That
Who is it?
For mine. You bought it after
56
mine.
what?
They bought it after Ralph. 5689.
Mine goes to 87, so you bought it right after me.
All right. Lauren's looking in his pocket. That's why I write my name on it. You got yours, Lauren? You find it?
I'm gonna look again.
He has it.
I got
Oh, you got it, see? All right, you're making everybody wait.
Yeah, he
That's
needs,
all right, that's all right.
by making everybody wait, he
Hey,
needs
the
to
club
forfeit.
appreciates you guys buying these tickets. Trust me. The cost of this room, we appreciate you guys buying these tickets.
By making everybody wait, he needs to forfeit.
Yeah. All right, reach in there and grab me one. Ralph? Okay. There you go. All right. Ralph grabbed, what did he grab? The Katie stock car? Okay, 5640, 5640. 5640. Oh, wait a minute. You guys sat next to each other. I don't know about this, Katie. I don't know.
least I
Sit
was able to
next to
find it
each
faster.
other. All right. Yeah. All right. So don't write your name on a ticket this month.
You have to remember.
Okay.
Remember how to spell your name.
Yeah.
I don't know, this might be Ralph again. 568, I'm sorry, 5690. 90, 90. It was, what is this? You gotta be on the back table, you guys are just bouncing back and forth? Jiminy Christmas. Well, he had 89, so I kind of figured he might have 90. Ralph, and this is going to be an easy newsletter to write. Ralph and Ralph won the, all right. Oh, this is a 57. Now we're getting some fresh blood.
Okay.
And it has a name on it.
Oh,
And that person is here, and he's sitting in the front row. Lauren. 5721, Mr. Hess. 57, it's all right, Lauren. Your name's on the back of the ticket. You don't have to bring me the ticket.
Only two of us in the front row, me and Paul.
Oh, yeah, you're in the side gallery. All right, pull me a ticket for that last prize. Nobody wants this last prize. And they'll always have one ringer up here. Who gets to take it home with them? This is the one that nobody claims, right? All right. Nope, there's two tickets here. I got two tickets. I'll leave those there. Those two back in. All right, no name. 5748. 5748. Mr. Bill. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Like I said, we have the room until 11:30. You're free to stay, but we do have to be out of the room by 11:30. But we still have a couple people set up, packed up. So make sure you, if you saw something you want to go back and get, go back and get it. And take a look up front here at the educational. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll be on our YouTube channel probably within a day or so. For those of you who watch this at home, thanks you for watching. We hope to have it up on the YouTube channel quickly. We'll do a real quick scan around the room before we close up. People are already headed for the exits. There's Ralph, Katie, Bill Richardson, Bill Lazenby, Lauren Hess, one of our lucky raffle winners. There's Brian, Bill Harris, DeLon, and front table. There's Angelo, Paul.
That goes in the walls, he did in there.
So you know it has the unit on the outside.
So it took up that little bit of that cavity.
Lower on the inside.
And then when I put the rivet in there, it come out right. It come out good.
Yeah, that, they work pretty good.
Yeah, they do work good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I said, I got mine.
You put it in yet, or you think? I have
So no, I signed the contract.
It's more.
You know, I have it. I got all the
Yeah, I got the wheel cup, the wheel set from, let's see, was it Hobby? I think it was Hobby Horse that I got that as well. And, that is just for a selected version posted. One of these meetings. Can I go that way?
You can go that way. All right, everybody, we're going to sign off. This is the fun part of the meeting, and I want to get part of it. This is the all the kibitzing after the meeting. And for me, this is one of the best parts, is getting a chance to talk with everybody. So thank you for watching online, and we will see you next month.